Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Sylvester here, and I'm Piglet here, and we're back for some from the Maxi Toys. And welcome back to my last play of Sonic Unleashed for the Nintendo Wii / PlayStation 2. So last time we actually did fully done with And a Bad Night, each with this contained 4 different acts. Even though there was one level that we might have some bit of troubles here and there, like Act 2 and Act 4. But apart from those sides of things, that we did that pretty awesome and pretty much dominated for the most part when it comes to ranks anyway. Like, we got 4 S ranks in a row from Manabad and Shamar so far. And don't forget 3 from Halaska Knight and Spagonia Knight, but the only one exception is the 3rd act in, Junon Knight. So now we need to talk to the professor, and I think we somehow accidentally just pressed him from the nighttime version, so I'm guessing that, anyway, I'm guessing that, oh, we're just thinking of something else. Anyway, so now he was trying to say here is that we need to actually restore the 5th coordinate while actually obtaining, after we actually obtain these planet, coordinate pieces. So that we need to talk to him to actually just to let the key itself to get connected, and then that way that will actually gives us the key to leads us to the next boss in the game. So hopefully we should able to actually have no troubles with the next boss fight we're about to be hitting to. But in fact, it could be either another daytime boss or a nighttime boss, because so far we got 2 nighttime bosses and 2 daytime bosses, so I'm not exactly sure what this boss fight is gonna be belongs to, or even represents or fights from, so yeah, so let's just find out and see what happens until now. And it may look like it's gonna be a nighttime boss because, as you can tell from the loading screen colors, so the nighttime boss in Shamar, the 5th boss fight in Shamar is known as Dark Guardian. Not sure where he's not as intimidating as Dark Morway or Dark Knight Phoenix, like he was supposed to be huge to begin with. But he is though still, but even then though, he wasn't as gigantic as comparison to the previous 2 fights. So anyway, Dark Guardian, as far as this version of Dark Guardian's boss fight, that, you never how in the HD version of Sonic Unleashed, but mostly the 360 and PS3 version, is the fact that you're gonna have to use that little cubes to actually traverse for that little moving elevator, or in this case, the moving conveyor belts depart. And then if you're actually trying to do that, then that's what actually trying to deal the damage of Dark Guardian. But in this version though, it's just a piece of joke. Like, even then though, every once in a while, if he actually teleports from this side, although you're gonna have to keep an eye on his health bar though, so that he doesn't actually get himself some health restored. But yeah, if you beat the crap the lights out of him, then you should be able to actually deal with that. And yeah, in some of these sequences, you do a little bit of a quick time event, like you just only press like 1 button, but that's all you're really trying to do. And apart from those sides of things, that this boss fight is pathetically easy than the ones in the HD version. So because of this, that well, first of all, he doesn't like drag the battle too much. Although the only time that he makes this guy a bit tougher is that he's constantly using his little hammer swing, so that if you get hit by a hammer or what have you, you'll get temporarily spin out, or in this case you have to rotate the control stick like a few times. Well, at least it's not like the Mario Party 1 mostly, that you have to rotate the control stick so hard. And then, even then, in this game, I don't think the rotation control stick thing wasn't as painful as it used to be, so there you go. We recently beat Dark Guardian for under 2 minutes. Seriously, this boss fight is incredibly joke. Like, seriously, that you can actually beat this guy for almost like no sweat. In fact, aren't any enemies surrounding here either, so yeah, what a pathetic boss fight to be handled in this version. At least in my opinion anyways. So yeah, I think that wraps everything up for Shamar, so now we can actually restore the 5th coordinate. So the color choice for the Chaos Emerald this time around, it was actually yellow. Which actually does kind of perfect fitting for the yellow Chaos Emerald to be restored the 5th continent, which has been already done right now. Because usually Shamar was basically a desert theme level, so yeah, or in this case almost exactly represents the Arabian settings. So now we can actually switch between day and night system in the hub world now, so yeah, you know, as far as I already mentioned this before, so what? I'm guessing we have to actually switch between daytime. Yeah, I'm concerned that I actually just pressed that by accident. So anyways, let's press the X button real quickly to actually get this thing much faster. So now let's start to the Professor Pickle, and alongside with Amy Rose joins in the phrase. So this means that we have to revisit Anabat to actually get to do the daytime stage, and possibly we might actually do the next boss fight afterwards. So conveniently enough though, however, we might actually do 2 boss fights in one video, which could be a possibility if that was gonna happen. So yeah, now we revisit to Anabat for a second time, because even then though, we have to deal with the daytime stage first, including some of the mission objectives as well. And then also when we're actually done with that, then we pretty much guarantee that we can actually get ourselves another piece of their planet fragment to we actually access to the next boss in the game. So who knows? I wonder who the boss might actually be. I guess we'll just have to find out until we actually finish the daytime stage nonetheless. So yeah, we're just gonna have to quick wonder about this really complicated menus for the hub worlds. It's always aggravating. Yeah, I wish I just go through stage to stage for since how it does in Sonic Adventure 2, and hell, even Sonic Heroes for that matter, or hell, even Shadow the Hedgehog. Although granted, Shadow the Hedgehog was just a I don't know. You guys should already know that. So anyways, so now let's head into the secret shrine to Anabat, so we can actually go to the Gaia Gate again. So that now we actually got ourselves a sun tablet. So that means we can now enter the daytime stage. So even then though, that oh wow, we actually got more sun medals, more so than the moon medals. I think it's mostly because of that we actually collect quite a lot of sun medals, especially for the nighttime stages, because there's so many of these nighttime stages in this version than the ones in the 360 version. Alright, now we're heading to the daytime stages on Anabat, which was known as Jungle Joyride. Now this level might be a bit tricky for some players, because even then though, that as far as later on at the end of the game, that it gets even progressively harder as you progress, because there's a lot of emphasis on really tight corners, or in this case sharp turns, if you actually just try to drift and what have you. But and also that much like in Junon, there's going to be a lot of there's going to be some water involved, which if you dive into the water, it instantly kills you. So at least unlike in Sonic Colors in Aquarium Park and Sonic Lost World Tropical Coast for the Wii U, where you can actually use the drill wisp to actually access to underwater sequence. So anyway, and as you can saw right there, that we actually take a shortcut. Well, basically what happens is that we actually homing attack onto that you know these swap bots that we saw from early on in the game? That now it has a shield and also with some springs on it into attachment. So yeah, just be sure to homing attack on the second swap bots with the spring with the shield, because mostly for the second part, because if you do that, then you can homing attack onto those one of those robots, and then it should able to access to a shortcut. Oh, there's a very familiar robot that we saw from Spagonia Day. But even then though, I think this sequence is much shorter than the ones in Spagonia version, but mostly it's because there's not a lot of like things to dodge. So I mean, the only time we need to dodge is the missiles, so that we don't lose those rings until we actually get our upgrades or the leveling up system for the boost gauge to decrease. So that might be the case here. So yeah. So this level is quite reasonably short though. It only take about like 2 minutes and 15 seconds for the S rank time, but hopefully though we can get there in time. Yeah, which kind of doubted really though, because even then though we're doing pretty well at this stage. So because of the GameCube controller option of the controller is definitely the best option in my opinion. So anyway, and the gold ring is just right here. So there you go. That's Annabeth Day Jungle Joyride. Quite a fun level, actually. And then if you probably notice at the end, though, you're gonna have to dodge these somewhat very similar to the Thwomp enemies from the 3D Mario games. Is that if you get they're all trying to block you once you're trying to run, but I believe if you get squished by the Thwomp guys, you'll actually lose rings if I remember rightly. Although I may be wrong though. But anyway, but we're not ending on that Annabeth Day stuff yet, because as usual we're doing some missions. So first of all, we're going to be collecting 150 rings. So can we do that? Well, you know us, since we already played this game before, so we know what we're doing. However, if you do fall off of the level, then you have to restart the whole mission again, so... And be sure to not lose most of your rings, mostly, especially for this sequence right here, because even then though, that once you get hit by the enemies like this, you're gonna have to also restart the mission so that you won't able to actually get hit by a lot of stuff or some hazardous stuff from earlier on. So, how about that? And now on to the next mission, which is quite different by comparison to the ones with Don't Break Anything mission, because Shamar has the last Don't Break Anything type of mission. So here it is right here, time attack. So basically time attack missions that are actually involved with is that you're actually gonna have to make your way all the way into the goal while there's a time limit. So at the beginning of this stage, I think you only got about 50 seconds, because although I may be wrong about that, but anyway. And then if you come across into one of those checkpoint gates, you'll actually get yourselves time extended, which means you actually get time plus. So it's a good thing that you're gonna have to hit those a lot of those checkpoints, because if you didn't make it to the end of the level before time, then the mission will be failed if you actually let your time runs out. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So you know. So let's swing from vine to vine. It kind of reminds me of like Tarzan for somehow. Which, sure enough, that's actually really cool. Oh, what? We actually bypassed a checkpoint. That's not fair. But at least we got 10 seconds nonetheless. So, and also we got some hidden items, so that's actually worth knowing for, to actually know where the hidden item is supposed to be on. And then, surprisingly enough though, that we're actually breezing for the Annabeth missions quite literally flawless right now. So, because of that, I think we actually memorized the level layout really well, because again, we actually did the actual level. And we got soundtrack number 9. Sorry for that little dialogue's a bit corny and messed up right there. And now we move on to the last mission in Annabeth Day, which was collecting rings again, but this time we're going to be collecting 130 rings. It's a bit of a short value than the ones in 150 rings, as it does it for what we did earlier. So, yeah, that's how it goes, basically. Oh, what if we did miss one of those rings? Well, at least 5 anyway. It's a good thing that you need to homing attack onto that swap button over here, so just in case you actually homing attack onto that spring to actually lead you up. So, how about that? The mission is over just like so. And there we go. I think that concludes Annabeth Day. So, again, there's no, Don't Break the Jaws mission, because Shamar has the last, Don't Break the Jaws, mission. So, you know, you don't have to worry about that. So, now we actually got ourselves 2 pieces of the planet, fragment. Now we can actually just talk to somebody in somewhere in Shadow Waters. And then they'll actually try to connect those 2 fragments together, so that means we can actually do yet another boss fight we can actually deal with. So yeah, it's pretty incredible that we're actually going to be tackling through 2 bosses in this part of this episode. So that's actually pretty cool to actually just to try to get these bosses done and then actually restore these continents during time. So I wonder what boss fight are we going to be fighting this time around. Although last time we actually did fight, as you can tell from the beginning of this video, was Dark Guardian, so I'm guessing it might be a daytime boss. So because we already fight through 3 nighttime bosses, so I'm guessing this might actually belongs to the daytime boss. Which, sure enough, that's true because you know the loading screen. So the boss fight in Annabeth is the Egg Lancer. Now, as you can tell for this machine right here, it's very similar to how it does it for Egg Beetle that we fight from Missouri, but with different colored. Yeah, I guess that's the only difference is between Egg Beetle and this Egg Lancer. So this is how this boss fight works. It might be a bit difficult for you sometimes because even then though, especially when you come towards that little wall stepping sequence, you're actually gonna have to dodge many of those hazards, mostly the laser beam, and as well as that little attack that Egg Lancer can do. Then you actually summon those crumbling rocks. And then it might be a bit tricky for you to actually try to hit him because even then though, if you somehow accidentally use the homing attack onto Egg Lancer once you're onto that little sidewalk, you will somehow die and you have to restart the whole fight again. So just be very, very careful. And also just like Egg Devil Ray, that we are gonna have to dodge those specific lasers, including those orange projectiles on the floor. But even then though, we actually got our luckiest dodge ever. And then at the end of these little types of sequence, we're gonna have to deal with a quick time event. So, and then once you're done with the quick time event successfully, you actually deal with a crap ton of damage onto Egg Lancer. So, pretty worth knowing for at the end though, really. And then, as a result from that, and it goes like a little loop sequence, because even then though, it kind of reminds me like a racetrack for some reason. And also, not to mention, the, somewhat similar to how it does in Egg Devil Ray and Egg Beetle at the same time, because even then you're running through a quick loop onto the boss arena, so... Honestly, this boss fight might be a bit tricky sometimes, but honestly, it's not too bad. But especially when you come towards this little sequence, be sure to not homing attack onto Eggman's dome onto the Egg Lancer, because if you somehow do that, you accidentally fall off, and you highly recommend to you a boost so that you can actually deal the damage from that hit instead. And then we only got one hit left, so easily to be finishing him off is by in this sequence. However, just like the ones in the Egg Devil Ray in this version, that Eggman's gonna be voice cast for that one. So yeah, in the HD version, it's been replaced by Eggman's Millions, and we somehow ended over here. I'm guessing it's because of the ending finish for Egg Lancer. So yeah.
What? Over already? Oh well.
Yeah, I know, right? It's really over already. I mean, because of that, we actually beat him for likely a quickest time to end. So, now we can actually restore the safe continent.
What's wrong, buddy?
Huh? Oh, right. I'm just scared.
Scared? It's just another old temple. It doesn't look like there's anyone around either.
That's not what I mean. That's not... Never mind. I'm fine. Let's go. I welcome your return. Messenger of day, of light, of rebirth. Sonic. I remember now. All of it.
So I must have guessed that Chip actually has some memories back. In addition to when the Chaos Emerald's been restored, which is essentially purple Chaos Emerald, now the safe continent has been fully restored. So now we only got one more continent left, but where exactly that might as well be? I don't know, we have to find some answers.
My real name is Light Gaia. I draw power from the day and light, and guide the planet to its rebirth. My job was to protect the planet from Dark Gaia. But Eggman broke the world apart himself, and Dark Gaia and I were awakened before we should have been. That's why Dark Gaia broke apart, and I didn't know who I was. I didn't remember what I was supposed to do. All because this isn't the proper time of awakening.
Time of awakening?
Dark Gaia grows over millions of years, then rises to destroy the world. And I put it all back together. We've been doing this over and over, again and again, since the very beginning of time.
So you were asleep all this time? For millions of years?
Yes, for ages and ages.
I bet it's thanks to you. Even at night when I'm like this, I'm still myself, not like all the other people we've seen. You must have been protecting me this whole time.
I haven't done anything, Sonic. You're the reason you haven't changed at all. You're too strong to lose yourself.
I'm the reason?
Yeah, you never doubt yourself, no matter what. You never give in to the night or the darkness inside your heart. I think it's because I knew that about you. That's why I wanted you to help me. It's been so fun, getting to see the world. I've lived here since the planet began, but I didn't know a thing about it. That it's so pretty, or that food tastes so good, or that people are so nice. I'm so glad I got the chance to discover all that with you, and I'm so glad that you helped me find my memory. Sonic, I will never, ever forget you. Thank you, Sonic. Goodbye, friend.
Hey!
Whoa, what?
Where do you think you're off to all by yourself?
What? But my memory is back now, and... well, from here on out, it's my responsibility, so, I mean, there's no reason for you to come along, so I should just...
Do I need a reason to want to help out a friend?
Thanks, Sonic. Yeah!
We originally was gonna say that we only have one last objective though, Chip, so that we need to actually head back to Sumar to actually speak to the professor to actually tells us about the last objective we're about to be heading to. So that would be for next time. So yeah, next time on Let's Play Sonic Unleashed for the Nintendo Wii /PlayStation 2, we'll be headed back to Sumar and then actually talk to the Professor Pickle and then just actually ask him what the last objective is to actually restore the pieces onto Earth. So, yeah, so that'll be a pretty big deal. So see you guys next time. Later, fellas.